So, you have a horror movie for me? Yes, sir, I do. It's about this guy called Jigsaw who wants to help people become better versions of themselves by playing some games. Wait. What? It's about this guy Jigsaw. He wants to help people. And he does this by having them play games. I get that part. How is that scary? Well, you see, sir, these aren't just any games. These are life or death games. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And in these games, people have choices. What kind of choices do they have in these games? Well, you see, they are put in these traps. Right. And they have a certain amount of time to get out of the traps before they die. And what do they have to do to get out of these traps? Oh, you know, unaliving your best friend, sawing off your foot. The usual, not really much of a choice. No, not really. How do they even get into these traps? Against their will. Against their will. And what is the purpose of these traps? To help them appreciate life. They probably could have read self-help books to do that. Yes, they could. So, does this Jigsaw guy know them? No, he doesn't. Then why does he want to help them? Because, you see, Jigsaw is this dude with cancer named John Kramer, the tennis player. No, not him. A fictional John Kramer. I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this guy, he's dying. Dying, yes. Dying. He has cancer that is inoperable. And what does he do knowing that his cancer is inoperable? He builds a lot of death traps to help people appreciate their life. That sounds very expensive. Yes, sir, it is. If he has so much money to build these traps, why doesn't he look for ways to get his cancer treated? Because then the movie won't happen. See, yeah, yeah, yeah. And so, he builds these traps to help people appreciate their lives. Right. And the movie starts out with these two dudes in a bathroom. I don't like where this is going. It's nothing like that, sir. Okay. I see. Right. So, anyways, these two dudes are in a bathroom, and they are chained to pipes along the wall. I really don't like where this is going. I promise. It's nothing like that. Okay. Whatever. Anyways, these two guys. One's a photographer named Adam, and the other is a doctor named Lawrence Gordon. I see. And what's the deal with these two? So, Adam is a private investigator who was hired by this detective guy named David Tapp. Right. And Tapp, he is obsessed with catching Jigsaw. Oh, wow, well, yeah, yeah. And so, Tapp, he was investigating Dr. Gordon because he thought he was Jigsaw. He did, yeah. And so, he had him take a couple of pictures of him to find out where he was going. And where was he going? To a seedy motel to have an affair on his wife. Oh, my God, yeah. But Dr. Gordon, he realizes that it's wrong. So he tells the person he is secretly having an affair with that he doesn't want to see them anymore. I see, yeah. And then, so after that, Dr. Gordon feels so bad that he leaves before he does anything with her. Nice. Not having affairs on your wife is tight. So, anyways, after he leaves, Adam takes a picture of Dr. Gordon in the parking lot. What happens after that? Then what happens is a person with a big mask sneaks up on Dr. Gordon and kidnaps him. Oh, that's really scary. Yeah. And then Adam realizes he was kidnapped by the same big mask person earlier when he was in his apartment. He did. Yeah. And then he woke up underwater in a bathtub filled with water. How did he not drown? Because then the movie won't happen. That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't water usually drown people? Yes. So why didn't it drown Adam? You're gonna have to get with my back about that. Let me get off that thing. Okay, so anyways, Adam wakes up in a bathtub filled with water, and the key that will free him gets sucked into the drain of the tub. Oh no, that's not good. No, sir, it's not. Why would Jigsaw put the key in the tub? Didn't he know that it would get sucked into the drain? That sounds like some very bad trap design, if you ask me, because then the plot won't happen. That makes sense. Yeah. And so, Adam and Dr. Gordon, they are both at opposite ends of the bathroom, and they both wake up and the bathroom is dark. Oh no, what happens next? The lights suddenly turn on. How do they turn on? They just do. That makes sense. So after that, they find a dead guy bleeding out on the floor. That sounds very traumatizing. Yes, sir, it is. So they find a tape recorder and a revolver next to the dead guy, and they find tape cassettes in their pockets. So Eden uses his shirt and his locket to grab the cassette recorder and drag it towards him so he can play both cassette tapes. Oh wow. Yeah. And then so after listening to the tapes, they find out that Eden needs to escape, while Dr. Gordon needs to unalive Adam. What happens next? Adam opens up a toilet and finds a bag of hacksaws inside. And what do they do with the hacksaws? Adam tries to cut his chain, but it breaks. Sounds like a very flimsy saw. Yes, sir, it is. So, what happens next? So, meanwhile, there's this Gazep who is watching Eden and Dr. Gordon on a TV. He's watching them. Yes, sir, he is. Adam and Dr. Gordon, they find a camera watching them after breaking a couple of mirrors. Breaking a couple of mirrors is tight. Yeah. So, Zep, he kidnapped Dr. Gordon's family in their home. He did. Yeah. And Detective Tap is watching the home from an apartment across the street. That sounds a bit creepy. Yes, sir, it does. So what happens next? So then Dr. Gordon finds this box, which has cigarettes, a lighter, and a cell phone. What does he do with the cell phone? Call the police. Then do they come? Nope. Turns out the phone is just a one-way cell phone. Oh wow. Yeah. So, then some time passes, and eventually, time runs out for Dr. Gordon to unalive Adam. What happens after that? Zap tries to unalive Dr. Gordon's family. Oh my god, that sounds like it will be a super difficult situation to get out of. Actually, it will be super easy, barely an inconvenience. Oh really? Yeah. So, Tap, he sees Zep try to unalive Dr. Gordon's family, so he goes over to their house to stop Zep and saves them. Oh wow. So then after that, the two have this big shootout, and eventually Zep flees in a car and Tap drives after him, and the two go on this big epic car chase. What happens after that? So while Tap was chasing Zep, Warden shoots Adam and cuts his own foot off with his saw. Oh my god, how does he not die? Because then the plot can't move forward. That makes total sense. Yeah, it does. So, what happens next? So, then Zap enters the bathroom and tries to kill Dr. Gordon, but then Adam hits Zap with a toilet tank lid. He's still alive. Yes, he is, sir. So what happens next? Zepp is bludgeoned with the lid until he is unalive. Oh wow, 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 wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, then Gordon tells Adam he will come back and that he will go and find help. What does he do next? He crawls out and leaves. He won't be getting very far with his foot being cut off. Who knows? What do you mean? There is no way to survive having a foot cut off. Yeah. Well, we don't see his body at the end, so there's always a possibility for him to be alive. I'm not sure how that's possible, but okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, anyways, Adam finds a tape recorder on Zepp that tells him that Zepp was actually in his own game. What? Really? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Zepp had a poison inside of him, and for him to get the antidote, he had to make sure Dr. Gordon followed the rules for his game. Oh wow, 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 wow. And then, after the tape finishes, the dead guy rises up from the ground. Wait, is this a zombie movie? No, sir. So, actually, it was Jigsaw who was pretending to be dead the entire time. That sounds very elaborate. How did he not wake up or have to use the bathroom? Because then the movie wouldn't happen. Makes sense. So, then, anyways, Jigsaw tells Adam that the key to his chain was in the bathtub, and then he dramatically walks to the door, turns off the lights, shouts game over, and then slams the door. Oh wow, 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 wow. So that's the movie. Do you have a name for this movie? I was thinking about calling it Saw. I don't really like the name Saw. How would you tell people you saw the movie Saw? You just tell them you saw Saw. And how would you tell them you saw Saw and Saw? You tell them you saw Saw and Saw. And how would you tell them you saw Saw and Saw? You would tell them you saw Saw and Saw. That sounds like it will be very confusing. Yes, sir. It will be. Well, at least there won't be any sequels with confusing names.